Hey, it's Dave from Doing Things with Dave, and less than 2 weeks until I embark on my Panama Canal Cruise, and I'll have this view as I leave Miami. So, hey, it's Dave, and as I said, less than 2 weeks to go until I depart on my Canal Cruise. I am very excited. Um, and today is March 16th, so day before St. Patrick's Day. So I am drinking a Guinness to celebrate. Not going to split the G. It's a 14.9 ounce can. It's hard to do. Um, I have been to Ireland. Here's a picture of me at the Gravity Bar at the Guinness Storehouse. If you haven't been, I highly recommend. But today is not about Ireland. Instead, today is about my cruise to the Panama Canal. And more specifically, I wanted to talk about the ship I'm on, the NCL Joy. So I've been on Norwegian cruise ships 6 other times. Twice on the NCL Joy, twice on the Encore, and then once each on the Breakaway and the Getaway. So I have a lot of experience with the Breakaway and Breakaway Plus class of ships. When I saw this cruise was going to be on the NCL Joy, I knew it was one that I really wanted to take. I've been on the Joy a few times, and it's my favorite of the NCL ships. Now, I haven't been on the newest ones, the Prima or the Aqua, and I haven't been on any of the older ones, so I don't necessarily have a Norwegian comparison outside of the Breakaway class of ships, but I also have been on a couple of Virgin ships, and I've been on one of the Carnival ships, the Venezia. So I do have some experience in understanding what I like, what I don't like, and differences in ships themselves. And I'll do more of a deep dive on my experiences on Virgin after the Panama Canal Cruise. But today I wanted to talk more specifically about why the Joy specifically is my favorite of the Norwegian Breakaway or Breakaway Plus class ships. A little bit of overview on it. The Breakaway Plus is part of 4 ships. And then when you add the 2 other Breakaway ships, there's a total class of 6. The first one, the Breakaway itself, came out in 2012. The Joy itself came out in 2017, was renovated this back in January of 2024. It carries about 3,800 3,800 cruisers and another 1,800 or so crew. It has 20 decks. Today, I'm not going to do a traditional ship tour. A lot of folks have done that already on YouTube. So today, instead, what I wanted to talk about is what do I love so much about the Joy and generally the Breakaway Plus ships themselves. So start on decks 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8 is the most important, if you will, heart of the ship. Deck 6, when you first get on, is where you're going to find guest services, your cruise next desk. It's going to have a Starbucks. It's got an atrium where they do all sorts of shows, the newlywed game, trivia. Also, if you have a question about shore excursions, you need the internet cafe. It's all right in the front of deck 6. As you move through deck 6, different ships will have different things in the middle on the Joy itself. You've got teppanyaki. You've also got the Maltings Whiskey Bar, which is different from the other Breakaway ships, which is generally on deck 8. I like it on deck 6. It's a bigger bar. It's got a lot more comfortable chairs. It's a really nice vibe. And you don't have as many people coming in and coming out. It's also, unlike the other ships, not right next to the cigar lounge. So you don't have as much of that cigar smoke coming in and out as people enter or exit the cigar lounge. As you go to the aft or back of the ship on deck 6, you'll have another bar. There are a lot of bars on the ship, of course. And then on either side of the bar, you'll have 2 of the 3 main dining rooms, Taste and Savor. The third main dining room, which is on deck 7, all 3 have the exact same menu. They've got a couple of core menu items in terms of apps, desserts, and main dishes. And then, of course, every night they rotate through some custom or unique sets of dishes. Things I definitely love about the main dining room: they've got good fried chicken. I like their ribs, their steak is quite good usually. They do a strip steak with a green peppercorn sauce and French fries. They have a good wine selection, especially if you've got the more advanced free at sea plus, or in this case, the more at sea enhanced dining package. So it's a really good time, and I generally find myself, if I don't have a specialty dining reservation, in Taste or Savor. And I usually try to go to one only versus mixing it up because it's good to get to know some of your servers. You get some great service that way. So moving up to deck 7, as I mentioned, the main dining room, the Manhattan room, is at the aft. There is no bar, however, like there is on deck 6. So if you're going to get a drink before you go into the main dining room, I would recommend stopping at deck 6, grab a drink, and then head up to the main dining room. As you move now towards the middle and front of the ship, deck 7 is primarily the casino. Now, one of the things about the Joy that I like a lot, and this is also on the Encore, but not on the Breakaway or Getaway, is they have a smoking section that's behind glass. On the Breakaway and Getaway, they have a smoking section, but it's not, if you will, in a glass room, so you get a lot more smoke smell. So if you're like me and a non-smoker, the casino doesn't smell like smoke the way it can on other ships, so that's a really good experience. The nice thing about the casino, it's quite large, got a lot of good slot machines, is what I play, penny slots for the win. But it also opens up to deck 6 as well as deck 8, so it's a neat way to get through the ship. And there's often glamour shots, photography taking place, so it's kind of a cool experience if people want to get some fancy photos. As you move forward, probably the best part of the ship is the local or O'Sheens, which is the near 24-hour complimentary included dining. It's a bar, it's got pub food, so think burgers, Reubens, hot dogs, salads, wings, nachos. It is phenomenal, and it's open, like I said, roughly 24 hours. They, I think, close around 3:30, and then reopen again at like 4:30, and do a breakfast menu. So if the ship is crowded or you need a late night or a mid-afternoon bite, the local is phenomenal. At the very front of the ship, you'll find the Joy or any of the ship named theaters. They do some nice shows in there. It's sometimes they'll run things like bingo. Good area. One thing I forgot to mention, on deck 6 of the Encore and the Joy, they also have a specialty restaurant called Q. It's a barbecue restaurant. I've eaten there once. It's pretty good. One thing that's really cool is after dinner, it turns into a country bar. Sometimes they have live music. So if that's your thing, it's not mine, but if that's your thing, super cool area to go. Now, moving up to deck 8, and I purposely started on deck 6 at the front so we could go to the back on deck 7 and then get back to the front on deck 8, is the best part, I think, of the Norwegian breakaway ships, and that's called the waterfront. So we'll start on the outside. The waterfront is a walkway 3/4 away around the ship, so starting near the front stairs, and then goes all the way around the stern and then comes back on the other side of the ship. It's got plenty of places to sit, comfortable sort of like outdoor furniture, couches and chairs, tables. There are outside bars on either side, as well as access to deck 8 on multiple entry points. So as you walk along the waterfront, you have 4 different specialty restaurants along with the 2 bars I mentioned. You have Cagney's and you have Le Bistro in the aft portion, and then on the port side, the left side, you have La Cucina, the Italian restaurant, and on the right side you have Ocean Blue, which is the seafood restaurant. All 4 of them have outdoor seating. If you're in port, I was in Bermuda once, we did an overnight. I ate at La Cucina. It was phenomenal to sit outside. If we're moving, it can be a little windy, but they do have a lot of glass partitions to sort of break up the wind. So unless it's rough or cold, it is still a good option. The 2 bars, on one side, you have the Sail and Sustain bar. It's a great little place that they often do their unique cocktail. Sometimes it's made from like pineapple or They talk about it's designed to prevent food waste. One note on the outside bars, either on the port or starboard side, is they don't have blenders. So if you're looking for a frozen daiquiri, a mudslide, or any other sort of pina colada type drink, you need to go inside. Also, on the inside of the ships, they've got the martini bar or they've got the mojito bar. They don't make the specialty drinks on the outside bars. So just be mindful of that. Guaranteed, if you're sitting in one of those, people will come up, can I get this? Can I get that? Can I get one of these things? And the bartenders constantly have to say, no, you got to go inside for that. So just as an FYI. The other thing that is phenomenal about the Joy, and one of the things I love about it, and this is also on the Encore, is they have on deck 8, port side forward, so basically right before the waterfront area starts, is the District Brew House. Now this is a pretty solid brew pub. They've got also some good cocktails, but they have about 20, 25 beers on tap, a wide range of stuff. Some of the beers are craft beers. They on my last cruise, they had Cigar City out of Tampa, which has a couple of really good IPAs. So it's a great place if you like beer, and I like beer. Cheers to get some of the things you might like. Okay, that's deck 6, 7, and 8. And again, the heart of the ship, it's where a lot of, like I said, your dining is going to be. A lot of the indoor nightlife activities will be there. Also on deck 6, you're going to have the comedy club, which I forgot to mention. So there's a lot of things to do in that area. But during the day, the outside areas are also a lot of fun. So starting at deck 15 is the observation lounge. Now, on the breakaway class of ships, the Encore and the Joy have a really nice enclosed observation lounge. The breakaway and the getaway do not. I think the Escape and the Bliss, which are also breakaway plus class ships, have that, but it is kind of a miss on the breakaway and the Encore, or excuse me, breakaway and getaway, because it's a really nice area to sit, relax, got comfortable chairs. They have a bar. On the Joy, they also have a Starbucks, if that's your thing, and they lay out or put out a light buffet, so you can get sandwiches, you can get pastries, you can get coffee. So it's a nice area to sit and relax, maybe read your book, take a nap. And for places like the Panama Canal or for Alaska, it's a great way to see everything at an elevated level and really get to watch the world go by. One of the great things about cruising. Now, deck 16 is where the main pool deck is. And every one of the breakaway ships has a different sort of layout on the pool deck. The Joy itself kind of is a little weird, but also kind of cool. They have 2 main pools on deck 16. One is a kid pool, and then they've got some water slides around the kid pool, and those are adult friendly. And then also they have a adults only pool, but instead of being in the middle of the deck, it's off to one side, and it's a little deep too. It's like 6.9 feet deep, which is kind of weird but cool. It's a great area to hang out on a sea day or on embarkation day. And what is cool, even though the pool is a little off-centered, that does create more space for sun loungers. That does create more space for when there's a DJ out there. So the pool deck is definitely a fun and happening place. Now, deck 17, which is really just mostly an open air deck, has 2 things that I like a lot. One is the jogging track, the running track. In the morning, it's a great way to get a little bit of workout in. And pro tip, use your Garmin, and while the ship is moving, and you will have the fastest 5K, 10K, half marathon, ultra marathon ever. Kidding, but maybe not. And then the second thing is at the stern of the ship, there's what's called Spice H2O. Now, a lot of the ships have the Spice H2O. The Encore is supposedly going to renovate some of the things they've done to create a Spice H2O, but it's an adults only area for the most part. Generally has great views. Sometimes the ships will have a big video screen. You have the glow party up there, but it also has a bar and we'll either have hot tubs or soaking pools. But again, because it's adults only and Norwegian is a kid-friendly cruise line, it's a great place to go hang out. Um, Also, a lot of times, for those of you who do smoke, there will be a smoking area up there. But it's nice because it's in the very back of the ship, so it's not going to disturb anybody else. So highly recommend Spice H2O as a place to hang out. Then deck 18, and really the last deck that I want to mention on the Joy, is it's got the go-karts. Now, the go-karts are a really cool little feature that Norwegian has brought to cruising. You have legit high speed, well, reasonably high speed go-karts that whip around a track. They have them on the Encore, they have them on the Prima. The Joy is more of a smaller track. I've done it a couple times. It's a cool feature. I like it. Would I recommend it as something I'd like to see on newer ships? Maybe not, because it is a paid attraction. So not that I'm against Norwegian making money or paying to do things, but it does take up a lot of real estate. On the Breakaway and Getaway, I actually like what they've done better on their top decks is they have a ropes course, which is open sometimes, and they do have a walk the plank feature, but they also have a lot more open air space so that they can set up sun loungers. They've got more sports court area. That would be probably my only slight pushback on the Joy compared to the Breakaway or Getaway. But overall, I really do love the Norwegian Joy. This trip will be my third time on it. It's 15 days, so hopefully I don't get tired of it. I don't think I will. There are more bars and restaurants and things to do. Of course, we've got 6 ports, so there will definitely be a lot of time for me to get off the ship. And as I mentioned, I've got a couple of cool excursions planned. But hey, if you like what you've heard, you like this video, maybe give it a like. If you want to follow along with me on my adventure over the next few weeks as I get ready for this bucket list trip, go ahead and subscribe. And hopefully I'll see you out on the sea.